Hi there, it's Julie, and I'm here with a DIY Ombre Ink Pad tutorial for you. And it's for this darling cupcake birthday card that I wanted to have this ombre effect on the chevron. And I've seen the ombre in home decor and fashion, and I thought it would really be fun. But if you wanted to make 20 cards with this, it would be a pain to sit there and try to re-ink the stamp with individual ink pads each time you wanted to do that. So the way to get around that, so you can do it multiple times very quickly and easily, is to make your own ombre ink pad. So I'm using the cut and dry felt stamp pad by Ranger, and I'm going to cut it to size, and I'm just going to take my stamp image that I want to use, and I'm just going to kind of measure it out there and draw some lines so that I know how big I want to cut this. And this is great because I'm going to get a custom sized ink pad, but it's also a large enough ink pad that I can actually use it for lots of other stamp images, not just the chevron. So I'm going to cut that out very quickly with my scissors, and the felt is perfect for working with dye inks. So water-based dye inks like the Distress reinkers, or the Adirondack dye reinkers, or the Memento reinkers. And in this case, I had a lot of Memento reinkers because I love Memento inks. And so I'm just using those reinkers to create my ombre pad. So I'm going to start with lightest to darkest colors, and I'm just kind of lining them up so that as I'm working, I know this is the order in which I want to ink my pad. So I'm just going to start with the Dandelion. That one's going to go down first, and I just kind of eyeballed, you know, how wide I wanted that strip to be. And I would guess it's about maybe 5/8 of an inch wide to 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm just going to increasingly add the darker colors. And this is the Cantaloupe, and I'm butting it right up to the line, and even though you don't see that here in the video, I actually overlapped the colors a little bit as I added each darker color. So there you can see the overlapping. And I started out with 4 colors, but I found that because of the width of the strips I was making, I actually needed to add a 5th. And so I grabbed that rhubarb stock, which is a gorgeous color, and felt that that would complete my ombre spectrum there nicely. So now I need to do a test print. And I'm just tapping up and down, and the reason why I'm tapping like this is I want those ink colors where they meet to blend on the stamp. So I'm tapping up and down several times to make sure that they blend, because I know my stamp is not going to go down in the same spot on the ink pad every single time. And I noticed that I had a little bit of splotchiness, so I did add more ink before I went on, and then I test printed again to make sure I was getting the type of saturation I wanted on the image. And so now I'm moving on to my project. I got a piece of Solar White and stamped my chevron, and I'm going to store my ink pad in a Ziploc bag because that's all I had handy, but I am going to go get some plastic containers from the dollar store to store my ink pads, because I think I'm going to be making a lot more of these because it was so easy and quick. And then because I knew I wanted to color my image with Copic markers, I just stamped it with the Memento Tangelo. And I could have stamped it in black, but I just thought it would be really fun to create more of this. I'm not really into neon, but I know it's a trend, and in some cases it's kind of fun. And I thought it worked really well with the chevron, the ombre chevron I was doing. So I stamped it with orange or Tangelo instead of black, and then colored it in with my Copic markers. And I wanted to matte it with some black and pop it up, and I realized that I couldn't center my 1 3/4 inch punch on this small panel as well as I would have liked. So I went over and grabbed my Ticket die stamp set. This is the die set by Hero Arts, and it has a 1 3/4 inch circle die that's just like perfect for so many things. And so I just grabbed that and used that instead of a punch because I could center it perfectly without any, you know, any error there. And then I'm ready to pop up my cupcake, and that was punched with a 1 1/2 inch circle punch, and then I'm just going to 3D pop it, and it looks like it's matted, and I just matted the whole piece, the chevron piece, with black cardstock, just a little bit larger, and then when I mount that 1 1/2 inch punch out of the cupcake, it looks like it's matted too, but it's elevated. It's kind of a neat effect. And then just to embellish a little bit, I added some stickles because I wanted my cupcake to have a little bit of sugary goodness. And then I white embossed a sentiment from the same stamp set and banner clipped the ends to put that on the front of the card, and I actually added a little pearl sticker I had in my stash to finish it off. But isn't that ombre effect cool? I hope you'll try it. Try making your own ink pads. It's really fun and easy. Thanks for watching.